our old oil boiler was getting really run down, so we were spending a huge amount of money on it every year, trying to nurse it through each winter and keep it going. And we were spending upwards of about £6,500 just to fill the oil tank. And about 5 years ago, we had a small oil leak from the oil tank as well, and the impact that had on our immediate environment just kind of woke us up to actually, we don't need to do this. And when it came to replacing it, we just thought it was immoral to replace it with another oil boiler, so we looked at alternative options. The most exciting part for us was the air source heat pumps and the solar panels. And as our proposal was ready to go, we were looking at trying to find private grants that we could apply for. And then at that point, the government's public sector decarbonisation grant became available in about October. So we think we were probably one of the first businesses and one of the first schools in the country to get that proposal in within about 48 hours. So we were successful in getting £114,000 to complete our work. And then we just had quite a tight time frame of 3 months where we had to have spent that money by, and all the work needed to be completed.
The application went in for the air source heat pumps and also the solar panels on the hall roof, as well as a range of LED lighting throughout the whole school, insulation in some of the ceilings, other insulation underneath some of the floors in the old Victorian part of the school, insulation within the walls where we've got cavity walls, and changing some of the old single glazed windows we've got around the place. So the whole idea was to wrap the school up so it was all nice and warm, and then trickle a little bit of heat in with the air to water source heat pump. So that meant we were no longer burning any fossil fuels in the school at all. No gas, no oil, nothing. We're all 100% on electricity. A lot of the electricity we need is generated by the solar panels, but in winter we have electricity that we do need to get off the national grid, but we purchase that electricity from a 100% renewable supplier. Actually, it's a local supplier to here called Ecotricity, who are very detailed on making sure that their electricity comes from 100% renewable sources and invest in wind turbines and solar panels. My proudest moment was actually being here during an assembly where we had the Bishop of Tewkesbury out to celebrate the success of this school becoming net zero carbon. And he actually stood in this hall and he asked the children what changes have been made and pointed up towards the ceiling. And clearly expecting the answer to be the solar panels, which are on the other side of this roof. And the first child put up their hands and said, the LED lighting. The next child put up their hand and said, the insulation in the ceiling. And it was only the third child that he had to go to that actually then mentioned the solar panels that he was after. They really do understand what has happened. The children know what a heat pump looks like. They know it produces the warmth they need in their classrooms. That's something that most adults don't understand. So they're seeing it, they're understanding it works.
Having completed the work here and seeing how effective and efficient the air source heat pump was and the solar panels, and actually how seamlessly all the systems work together, we decided to put them into our house when we were renovating. And it was something that my husband hadn't heard of before. He didn't know that an air source heat pump was an option and would have just gone for an oil boiler, as is the only option around here in this area. But yeah, he managed to support me and we went for an air source heat pump and had solar panels fitted, and it just works brilliantly.
The first real learning lesson is this is possible. We can make existing schools, which are a complete mix of old and new. We've got the technologies that can make schools net zero carbon, and we've got them here today, and they can be done. This school proves that. So for many years we've been talking about the theory of it. This demonstrates what is possible.